So if I want to just chuck a bunch of cards together, I did open King Kenrith, who is 5 colour, chuck a bunch of cards together. I could do that. Like, I think I need a multicolour deck, because otherwise I don't think I'm going to have enough cards monocoloured to make a deck that does anything. Oh, loot. I have been tempted to build a loot deck, but I don't have the cards for it in this game, so that's fine. Who are you? Whenever one or more knights you control attack, draft a card from their spellbook. Alchemy cards. Alchemy cards. When the clockmaker enters, conjure a card named Midnight Clock, which is that card there. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an hour counter on each permanent you control named Midnight Clock. Each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Not gonna lie, making a bunch of clocks sound kind of funny. Making a bunch of clocks could be weird. Just play a bunch of non-creature spells and just play Rusko and be like, clocks. I make clocks. Don't know what the rest of the deck will do. It'll just make clocks and just wheel through the deck, because that's what the clock does, right? Yeah. When the 12th hour counter is put on Midnight Clock, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards. Exile Midnight Clock. So you make a load of Midnight Clocks, but then shuffle your hand and graveyard back into your library? So I guess you cast a bunch of cheap instants and sorceries, so that you can put all the hour counters on Midnight Clock. And then it puts all the cheap instants and sorceries back into your deck. I guess that's how they want you to build it. However, I would want to build it that it has as many clocks as possible, now that I've been shown the way by our leech overlord. What other weird alchemy cards have we got? Roalesque Prime Specimen. When it or another permanent you control is turned face up, you may pay X. If you do, if X is 1 or more, conjure a duplicate of a random creature card with mana value X to your hand. Cloak it. It gains this creature. Simic, turn this creature face up for as long as it remains face down. Random creature? It makes a random, you spend X, and as long as X is 1 or more, it gives you a creature. Randomly. Hickory Dickory Dock deck. Yep. We're going up and down the clock. Let's go. Clock time. And as a true clockmaker, we need to build as many machines as possible. So, let's get some skull bombs. Let's have a nice logbook. Springleaf drum's nice. Wayfarer's bauble's good. I think I forgot to add those to my last deck. Ornithopter. No, it's non-creature. I need non-creatures. Dross Claw. A quick creature gets +1/+1 menace. Whenever this creature enters the graveyard, you may attach Dredging Claw to it. Wait. Enters from your graveyard. You may attach Dredging Claw to it. Is the clockmaker just going to go fishing? I think the clockmaker might just go fishing. Goblin Firebomb. Is it the first? No, it's just whenever. It's just whenever. This is fine. This is fine. Signet. Gold pick. Treasure. Food. Not really food, but kind of food. It's another spell bomb. Elsewhere Flask. Do we want Cryptex? Like, I'm going to be wheeling through so many cards, I don't think I need Cryptex. Journeys. Mindstone. Porridge. When it attacks, it only gets +1/+1 for each other creature. I don't know how many other creatures I'm going to be playing. We'll find out when I get there. Magnifying glass, you need that. Semblance Anvil, yep, great. Target creature gets +2/+0. You can sacrifice it to draw a card. Sure. Ooh. It's only when he enters that he conjures a midnight clock. When you cast a non-creature spell, he just puts an arrow counter on every clock. That changes the plan slightly. I need to flicker him a bunch. I need to somehow flicker him a bunch. Tap it. Draw a card, investigate. Turn target creature to its owner's hand. Like so. Return target creature an opponent controls. No. Not what I need. I need to return my own creature. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If you control a desert, spell 1. Sure. Run away together. Hexproof. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand, one into your graveyard, and one on the bottom of your library. Sure. Make 2 fairies. Return all non-creature, non-land permanents to their owner's hands. That's not good. I don't want that. I was immediately like, yes, it returns my commander to my hand. And then I was like, it also returns all the clocks I conjure to my hand. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Target creature's owner puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library. New. Target artifact or creature's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Top or bottom of the library. I don't want those. Is he a wizard? He's an artificer. Why did I think he would be a wizard? Sometimes you get strange creature types. Most of the time it's fine. Till end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. That's the sort of stuff I want. Until end of turn, target creature gains when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter. That's the sort of thing I want. Come on, what else have we got? What else have we got? What else have we got? Need more clock. Return target spell to its owner's hand. Nope. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield to suspect it. Sure. Sorceries. What are we going here? Return target creature to its owner's hand, draw a card. Yeah, I'm putting all of these in here because I'm going to bounce my own commander. Ooh, create tokens. That's a copy of target creature. Sure thing. Return all creatures to their owner's hands. For each opponent who controlled a creature returned this way, you create 2 fairies. Yep, I'll go with that. What have we got? Where can I grab more ways to get this guy to enter the battlefield to make all the clocks? I need maximum clock. Return up to 1 target creature, card from your graveyard to your hand. Sure. Return target creature card from your graveyard to hand. If it's on me, draw a card. Sure. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to hand. Yep. When you cast a phrase, nope. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Sacrifice any number of artifacts, enchantments, and/or tokens. Return that many creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then I guess I just fill the rest with kill spells. And see what on earth happens. What kill spells have we got? Death Touch indestructible. Lifelink indestructible, don't want that. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. For each creature sacrificed this way, conjure a duplicate of it into your graveyard. Nice. Destroy target creature. Destroy target non-outlaw creature. That's going to hit most things. Destroy target creature. Destroy target creature. This one. Oh. This one. There we go. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature of their choice. Each opponent sacrifices a token of their choice. Each opponent sacrifices a planeswalker of their choice. That's just useful. Exile target creature. Destroy target creature. Power 3 or less. Destroy target creature or planeswalker, or return target zombie creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Meh. And then do I have any enchantments that allow me to double check what activation abilities of creatures you control? I don't have many. Discard a card to draw a card, sacrifice Kabosh to draw a card. Kind of useful. When it enters, draw a card. You have no maximum hand size at the beginning of combat on your turn. If you've drawn more than one card this turn, put X+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Yes. I could make him my ring bearer. Oversold Emissary requires me to have a lot of creatures in my graveyard. And currently, I have no creatures in my deck. Other than Roaming Throne, I think is the only creature in my deck. I think I've literally got my commander, Roaming Throne, and that's it. Kind of the plan, but we'll see what happens. Artifact creatures that grow with a number of artifacts. I have no idea if I have any. We'll find out when I get there. I might have none. We will see. I really don't have many enchantments. Let's have a look. Have we got any artifacts that care about number of artifacts? Ooh, what does this do? Return target creature and opponent controls a power limit. Number of artifacts. I don't think we do have any. Like, I've got this that cares about number of creatures, but I really don't have that many or any creatures. Banished Heart's probably just going to be necessary. Nope, I don't have any. Have a look at what lands I've got. If I've got any interesting lands. Surgical Bay, draws me card. Activate only during your turn and only once. Scry 3. Target opponent gets a one-time boon. With when you cast a creature spell, that creature enters tapped with a stun counter. That doesn't sound like a boon to me. When you cast a creature spell, that creature enters tapped with a stun counter on it. Sure. That's a card. Definitely Colosseum might just do stuff. The dual land is needed, I think. Scry dual land is needed, definitely. Enters tapped when it enters. Surveil 1. Yep. Open Wilds, Escape Tunnel, Command Tower, Terramorphic Expanse. Enters tapped. Yep. Surveil 1. I'm good with that. I'm good with dumping cards into my bin. It's kind of the plan. And I do have 1 mythic, 2 rare, 11 uncommon, and 20 common. So maybe I just need to have a look at some non-land artifacts. I mean, Aether Spellbomb is exactly what I want. Aether Spellbomb is the card I want for this deck. I mean, kind of. I'm looking for cards that can flicker my creature. But the backup is just bouncing my creature and then replaying it. Or having my creature die and then come back. Which in all honesty I don't think is going to happen because he's a 3-3. If I attack with a 3-3 and before combat... it's going weirdly. I built a deck and stomped with it, so now I'm building a silly deck. Ooh, Folio Fancies is a silly deck. I'm trying to find a way to make Rusko enter as many times as possible to make all of the clocks. And that's my deck strategy for this one. I don't know how feasible it's going to be, because I don't really know what I'm doing, because I'm not sure what cards I'm looking for. I just know what I want the cards to do when I find them. And that is flicker my commander. That didn't say anything about it. No, it didn't. I could put Midnight Clock in the Midnight Clock deck. It's got to be done. It's got to have an actual Midnight Clock in it, because if it doesn't, something's going wrong. I just tapped the thing. That's not right. That's not what I want. Return target creature you control and each aura attached to it to their owner's hand. That's what I want. Portal of Sanctuary. Portal of Sanctuary is exactly what I want. If you create one or more artifact tokens, instead create those tokens plus an additional map. I don't think they're tokens. I think you just conjure them, which makes them a permanent. Power equal to the number of artifacts you control. That's the card you were asking me to look for. So I've got one of those now. We still need more ways to flicker my own commander. Maybe Phyrexian Metamorph comes in as my commander and then eats my commander, and then my commander comes back in and eats the Phyrexian Metamorph that then goes back into my deck because a Midnight Clock fires and then eats my commander. It could be a whole thing. I don't know. I've only got 2 rare slots. And I've already got... only 1. That could be rare slot number 2. For the moment, that is rare slot number 2. If you cast it, exile target instant or sorcery card with a value less than... nope. Have an artifact you control deals... artifact creature deals combat damage. Nope. Sticking things into the wizard spellbook could be funny, but I don't think it's going to do anything. And then we've got the black artifact section, which I think is going to be more of the thing dies and then comes back. What was that? Whenever another artifact or creature you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on it. Remove 4 oil counters, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Maybe? Maybe that would work? There's no limit to the number of rares. The only issue I'm having is the number of wild cards I have. So I've only got 2 rare wild cards left, which all of these cards that I'm picking are cards I don't own. Therefore, I have to spend a wild card on them. So I've taken up my 2 rare wild card slots, because that means I won't have enough wild cards to buy the deck if I try and put another one in. Exile a creature you control, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery. The problem is I don't have any creatures, which I think is going to be the same with Battery, but that also just cares about artifacts going to the graveyard, which is why I think it might be fine. I think I just need more artifacts that eat themselves. Like so. Enters or is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card, you lose 1 life. Like so. More artifacts that eat themselves. That might be the plan. Sacrifice another artifact or creature, draw a card. Oh, it's a rare. It's a rare! Draw a card, activate only as a sorcery, discard your hand to flip it over, and you may cast creature spells from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters with a finality counter on it, and is a vampire. That's fine, it's not great. Maybe I don't go with that one, that's okay then. Don't waste my wildcards, when will I get more? I don't know when I'll get more, whenever I open enough packs to get more. Which could be never. But I want to waste my wildcards. Maybe not both my rare wildcards. What am I spending them on? Phyrexian, Metamorph, and Midnight Clock. Well, the deck's got to have Midnight Clock. It's a clock deck. Phyrexian Metamorph, however, doesn't really need to be in the deck. So we can probably get rid of that one. I think what we need is to start this from scratch. I think that's what we need to do. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. That just kind of does what I want it to do. So I'm going to keep that one. Roaming Throne is good. I pick Artificer or Human, doesn't really matter. It makes the triggered abilities to happen again, which is when the entity makes a Midnight Clock, which gives me 2 clocks, which is great. And whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I put an hour counter on all my clocks, which would be 2 hour counters on all my clocks, and then each opponent loses 2 life and I gain 2 life, which is great. I also realise that's probably the way that I'm just killing people, is each opponent loses 1 life and gains 1 life whenever I cast a non-creature spell. So it's like, yeah, I might not have a huge amount of clocks, but if I put a bajillion hour counters on the clocks anyway, I probably just kill players. As long as I've got a couple of ways to flicker my commander. I'm also going to have him going fishing because it's funny. But things like Unfortunate Accident is actually an expensive spell disguised as a cheap spell. Protecting my commander I don't know if I need to care about because I'm going to have a bunch of ways to return him from my graveyard. Firebomb is kind of expensive. Discard a card, draw a card. Decent way to spend some mana. Return a thing, give Hexproof I don't think I need. Return a thing. Top 3 cards, probably not. Drawing a bunch of cards, that's fun. Run away together, authorized exit. Call of the Ring, Cemetery Recruitment. Just good. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Dross Claw. Is not super needed. Fake Your Own Death. Implement of Malice is just fun. Macabre Balls is good. Method Draft is fine. If I don't have a way to sacrifice artifacts, then it doesn't do anything. But maybe I'll find a way to sacrifice artifacts. I say looking right at a way to sacrifice artifacts. And it has crew 1, so I can just stack a bunch of tokens on it and then use a Rusco to can put my clockmaker in the car, and then the car can just like drive over people. I'm going to run into the same problem that my car just can't get through, but it's funny. Where did I get to? Cardboards. Epic draft. I've got a way to sacrifice artifacts. I might need a couple more, but we'll find out. It'll be fine. When it enters your stuff, return up to one target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's fine. Death Touch Indestructible. I don't care about giving him Indestructible anymore because I just want him to go away and come back as often as possible. Bumbleflower Sharepot is fine. Buried Treasure is fine. Elsewhere Flask really doesn't do anything, but whatever. Giving him a pickaxe and making him attack. If he gets through, great. If he doesn't, great. Journeyer's Kite is fine. 3 bowls of porridge is dumb, kind of pointless, but what are you gonna do? Dragander, Flame Bloom Trick. Midnight Clock is great. Portal of Sanctuary is going to be my big one. This is the end game. Portal of Sanctuary, my Rus go back to my hand and then replaying them every turn. That's going to be how I win games. It's not, but it's how I'm going to play games. Next deck, sorry, I didn't read one of your previous messages, Ritual. Next deck idea, bears and bounce cards. Call it Gummy Bears. I don't know if there's enough bears in the format. There probably is, and we probably can do it. Tamiya's Journal doesn't really do anything. Murder, Nocturnal Hunger. Murder and Nocturnal Hunger are basically the same card, but one is slightly different, costs an extra black. Vanquish the Weak isn't needed. Banish Heart. Return Tome isn't needed. That's fine. That's not great now that I'm kind of varying between artifacts and spells. It'll be fine. Right? Yeah, I put a couple of artifact creatures in the deck, and then it'll make my artifacts and my creatures cheaper, which will make Rusco cheaper when I keep playing him over and over again. Similar to Anvil stays in, I think. We want to make Rusco a 2-drop. That would be great. It does then mean that I need some artifact creatures. Artifact creatures that care about dying. Whenever another artifact or creature... No, that's just sacrifice artifact or creature. That's fine. We need to sacrifice more artifacts and creatures. Using artifact creatures. Where are some more artifact creatures that can sacrifice artifacts and creatures? Not in the blue section is the answer. I mean, the worm was good when they used it. When it dies, you make a death-touching worm and a life-linking worm. No, I need more artifact creatures. What am I doing? I need sacrificed outlets. I need to be able to eat my own artifacts and creatures. Like so. That's actually decent. for a basic land, put it into your hand, reveal it, put it... sure. Sure. I have 2 more slots still. Expedition map's good. I either want a really good sacrifice outlet or a really good bounce ability for my commander. That's what I'm looking for the last card. Some kind of flicker ability or some kind of sacrifice outlet for my artifacts and creatures. Creature sacrifice outlet, creature sacrifice outlet, neither of which do artifacts. I don't think there are many outlets that sacrifice both creatures and artifacts. That's very expensive for what it is. We're almost there. We've got 1 more card to find. It's just looking for something specific that can do what I want it to do. How does Marvin work again? It's all activated abilities of creatures you control that don't have the same name as this creature. My creature doesn't have activated abilities, so that doesn't matter. My singular creature doesn't have any activated abilities. This deck is going to be so terrible, but I'm going to enjoy playing it because it's silly. Come on, where's an artifact sacrifice outlet? We are only in the 2 drops. There's still plenty of cards to look through. In fact, I could just be... Would have been an easier way to do it. Just typing in sacrifice into the artifact chunk. So everything that's a sacrifice in the Oracle text. A bunch of them that sacrifice themselves. We jump back up to the 2 drops. There we go, this is where we were. Sacrifice a creature. Nope. There should be something around here, there normally is. Sacrifice itself, sacrifice a land, sacrifice itself, sacrifice a scarecrow. Wait, did that say it? Sacrifice this creature. Sacrifice this artifact. Mindslaver? What are you doing in here? Okay, I don't think there is a thing that sacrifices artifacts. Just generally. Which is a bit sad. It would have been nice to have some kind of artifact sacrifice outlet. Unless I'm just blind and I'm not seeing one. I'll have another look back through, and if I can't find it, then I will just go for some way to make a cheap bounce ability, I think. Yeah, I think a bunch of them just sacrifice themselves to do a thing. It's not going to be a 1-drop. A 1-drop isn't going to be sacrifice any number of artifacts. Let's sacrifice a creature again. Sacrifices itself. We've got sacrifice 10 non-land permanents with bonus to Citadel, but that's another rare slot. Yeah. When it attacks, you can sacrifice an artifact or a creature. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains menace. I think it's just this guy. Sacrifice an artifact or enchantment. Activate only once each turn. It's not artifact or enchantment. Artifact or creature. Activate once each turn. At the beginning of your end step, if you control... If there are 4 more card types 1 cards in your graveyard, each opponent may sack each opponent. Nope. Wait. Each opponent, he didn't. Yeah. Oh. I guess Tarian's Journal is actually pretty good for the deck. Maybe Tarian's Journal is actually the pick. I know it's the other rare that we didn't really want to use, but I think it might just be the pick. Return. And we need to unselect artifact, because there's not going to be a lot in this section if it was just artifacts. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. Good old rescue. What a terrible card. But we can take off something like Drag Under in exchange for rescue. Because it's funnier. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Which we can get rid of. I guess Consuming Ashes doesn't really need to be in the deck. But is there a way to repeatably return a creature? Return target artifact you control to its owner's hand. That's not really what we want. Good old Cyclonic Rift chilling here. Return another creature. What's he do? Whenever 1 or more other creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, draw a card. Return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. But you're a rare. That's unfortunate. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may exile it and return it to the battlefield. Nope. Has to deal combat damage. Mine's not going to be. Or not enough to make it worthwhile. Now I could make it a ninjutsu deck. That would be a way to return my commander back to my hand over and over again. But I think we've already gone well past building that, because we've already basically built a deck. Return target non-token, non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If this spell was kicked, conjure a duplicate of that card into your hand. It perpetually gains mana of any type may be spent to cast it. That's actually really good. Especially if I bounce my own creature. Guess I picked that one to get rid of. Realistically, I still need a good repeatable bounce. But I don't know if that... whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may return it to its owner's hand. Again, it's a rare. I need to not be doing that as much. Why is it all the rares that fill the slot that I want? It's almost as if specifically bouncing your own creature is something that's actually good to do in the game. Whenever you attack, up to one target attacking creature can't be blocked. This turn, at the beginning of the next end step, return that creature to its owner's hand. That's kind of the thing I want to be doing. Repeatable bounce. Which means I can probably get rid of the 6-drop, which means the entire deck now costs 4 and less. Which is good. That's the sort of stupid thing I'm trying to do. Make an incredibly cheap deck. Mana-wise. Incredibly cheap deck mana-wise. Yeah, I think... Other target enchantment you control. No. Yeah, I think that's the best we're going to get out of this. We're buying a few cards, but I think they're all mostly commons and uncommons. Yeah. 2 rares, 6 commons, 6 uncommons, 12 commons. I still have 1 mythic, 5 uncommons, and 8 commons. I have now built Hickory Dickory. It is my clock deck. I will try and build clocks with it, but now we're going to find out if it works or not by Hickory Dickorying. Play Brawl, swap to Hickory Dickory. Let's go, Hickory Dickory Dock. We're attempting to make some clocks. I don't know if it will work. But we're going to find out. That's... I don't remember the beats of the song, so I couldn't do it justice. Not properly anyway. In this clock deck, what is my win condition? There isn't one. I think my win condition is Rusko ticking up all the clocks. He drains opponents when he ticks up the clocks. This is a terrible hand, if I'm honest. But you know what? I'm not here to play good hands, so I'm keeping it. I also realised Springleaf Drum was a bad include, because I don't have many creatures. Lock Laurent! Oh, I got the fishing pole. Yay, I can go fishing. I get to go fishing. Woo! Next time I can play a swamp, my Springleaf Drum, and my fishing pole. Flawless. Or I could throw my fishing... No, they're playing gigs. They're playing... Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, they draw a card. Wait. If a creature deals combat damage... Oh, so they're going to be paying life and drawing a bunch of cards. And then paying 7 and discarding a load of cards to eat my deck. And then they're going to find out how terrible my deck actually is. Bring a drum. Fishing rod. Aha, I bet you're confused now about the frankly terrible cards that I'm playing. And there it is, kicks. They hit me for 2. They pay 2. They draw 2. Nice. Nice. I play a card and compulsion. Because why not? I can return target creature to its owner's hand. Do I want to? Make them replay Gix, I guess. Help to slow them down a little bit. And it's not like I'm losing Silent Departure. I'm going to get it back with a clock. As long as I don't flashback it, which I'm not going to do. acquire more clockwork. The downside is because they're playing mono black, I have a feeling they're just going to have a bunch of kill spells, which will go really badly for Rusko when he just gets eaten every single turn. Because I do not have much ramp. It's the big flaw that I'm now seeing with this deck. But it's Rusko time! Make me a clock. He did it. He made me a clock. Right, my Springleaf drum. Yes. No, I can do that. I can do that at instant speed. We're fine. I'll give him the fishing pole later. Let's put an hour counter on the clock. Draw a new hand at 7. Oh, I love it. Clocks! Clocks! Hickory, dickory, dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 10, the mouse ran down. Hickory, dickory. Is that how it goes? Hickory, dickory, dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 10. The mouse ran down. Oh, guess I'm doing it now. Auto pay. Discard. Filigree attendant. Draw card. Goblin firebomb. Do I want to put that in my bin? I can return up to one target creature from my graveyard to my hand. I'll keep that in the bin. Not like I can cast him again if I get him back, but I've got a Mourner's Surprise to put him back in my hand. And make a mercenary, I guess. And I can give the mercenary a fishing pole. I don't know what I'm doing with this deck. It's very silly. I'm going to make a mercenary, put the mercenary, give the mercenary a fishing pole, and then send the mercenary fishing. They're going to enjoy their fishing pole. Meanwhile, I'm getting punched in the face for way too much damage. And they're just drawing all the cards. Land. Mourner Surprise. Let's grab Rusko back to my hand. Hi, buddy. Oh, Banished Heart's probably the better play here. Banished Heart. And then let's play a Goblin Firebomb. Why not? I guess the why not is because Rusko wasn't on the field and I probably should have had him on the field. Oh well. It's fine. I think. Not really. Put an hour counter on midnight clock. They killed my Burnish Heart. Mono Black does not want me to play this game. This is a big turnaround from the last game I played, where I was that player and versing this player with their Leech and Worm deck that was just kind of goofing around, but trying to put up the best fight it could, whereas now I'm just like, clocks. I don't want to put up a fight, I just want a clocks. And this Mono Black deck is just punching me in the face repeatedly. There's really nothing I can do about it other than, I guess, trade for this, the 2 damage on the fungal thing? Sure. Sure. We'll do the trade. It's not great, but we'll do it. Oh, take it. Or not. They just kill my creature. They've got so many kill spells. My Rusko's going to live in the graveyard forever. Welcome back, Rusko. You've returned. How do you feel? Make me another clock. Play the Elsewhere Flask. But now I counter on both my clocks. Draw a card. Things. I do have 2 mana. Let's give him his fishing pole. He just wants to fish. He just wants to fish. Don't even worry about it. He just wants to do some fishing. I got the cutthroat to eat some stuff. I really don't know what I was doing when I was building this deck. I was just kind of randomly brewing clocks. My attempt was to make as many clocks as possible. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. They hit me to 9. Hit me to 2, sorry. They don't hit me to 9, they hit me for 9. But they do have 7 mana? They don't have 7 mana? I don't know. These are the top X cards of your discard X cards. So they eat 7 cards to look at the top 7 cards of my deck. Or steal the top 7 cards of my deck. And then play them. Gix, everybody. Gix just does a bunch of cheap creatures and then stuff. That's how that works. My clocks are not even going to resolve. Top 11 cards. Did you get anything good? Nah, they didn't get anything good. I mean, they got my Tarian's Journal, I guess. Can you cast them without paying the mana cost? Oh, you totally can. They're going to play more of my deck than I played. Oh no. And yet I'm still just loving it. I'm just like, yep. They get to play my deck. They get to do the thing. Yeah. Look at all that value. They got like some spells. There's still like 3 more spells they could play in there. Yeah, yeah. 3 bowls of porridge, resolve all. They make 2 fairies. Tap my creature. Just tap a creature. Did it just make 2 fairies tap a creature? That's terrible. I should remove that. It returned my clock to my hand, but because it's a duplicate from Roscoe, it just actually goes to my hand. Thanks, Roscoe. Well, there we go. I can't kick their butt. They're winning. And they get to flip my Tarian's Journal. Because they discard the no cards that they have left in their hand because they already discarded their entire hand with Gix. Nice. It's got a bait counter now. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I don't want to re-equip it, that would be silly. I want to play a Midnight Clock. And then a Wayfarer's Bauble. And then tap my fishing pole man. He's just going fishing, don't even worry about it. Lovely. What a nice little fishing trip Roscoe had. He's on a break from making clocks, he's going fishing instead. just having a nice time. I just want him to have a nice time. He got killed after all. If you've died, when else you can have a nice time? Oh, they're tapping my creature. It's not necessary in the slightest. I'm going to eat my Mind Stone to draw a card. And then they're going to cast a creature card from their graveyard, right? Right? You're gonna do Tomb of Aclazarts? You getting there? Yeah. Tomb of Aclazarts. Which is a Death Shadow, I guess. The ring tempts them. So my deck kind of did exactly what it wanted to do. But what it wants to do is nothing. So it worked. My deck played flawlessly, is basically what I'm saying. I made multiple clocks, which is exactly what Rusker wants to do. He wants to make clocks. That's the best part about building a fun, silly deck, is your own objective comes into play, and you can never really fail your own objective. Like, yes, I'm losing horrendously. Look at the life difference and the creature total difference. But I made multiple clocks. That's the important part. I'm going to make all of my lands into plains, I guess. Let's make all my lands into plains. Yeah, or forests. Should we make plains or forests? What do people think? Plains or forests? I like the way opponent is like, what are they doing? What could they be doing? Make them all into plains. Look at all these plains. Ooh. Swamp, basic land, plains. Island, basic land, plains. And Loch Lorent, land, plains. We did it. They're all plains. Now what are you going to do? But you're scared of all these plains. Got 'em. They got scared of all the plains. That was silly. Did you have fun this match? Definitely. Of course I had fun this match. I don't know what the difference is between taking guess I had fun and no I didn't have fun. Like, does it just relate whether or not you play that person again? Or like, does it give them a rating? I don't know. I don't understand what it does. But what I do know is I'm playing this clock deck again. This clock deck is now my best deck. No one can say otherwise. I have a feeling this is going to be a very similar matchup to the last time, in which they're playing Krenko Mob Boss. So they're going to be playing mono red goblins, and they're going to play a load of goblins, which is going to end this game very quickly, because I'm not going to have any blockers. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana is spent to cast that spell, counter it. That's fine, I intend to pay for all my spells. So don't you worry. Put it onto the battlefield. So yeah, I want to be doing Wayfarer's Bauble before Arcane Signet. What do we got? Is it goblin time yet? No, sacrifice the bauble to draw a card. Nice. I approve. Eating your own cards is much better. I need to make sure I go and get a swamp. And then next turn we can Rusco and get one of our clocks. And begin the tick of clocks. Not that it's going to resolve, because I'm going to die to goblins. Ooh, another swamp. Rusco, he's here. We've got a clock. Ta-da. Next. And if they try to kill him, I can rescue him back to my hand. So he can cost 4 again. My plan is all coming into place. Oh, they're going to destroy my artifact. That's no fun. Can't rescue... Ooh, return target permanent you control. What if I rescued my own clock? Huh? Yeah. I didn't even think of that one. Then clock rescue now. Did it. Clock rescue. Kind of needed the rescue for my commander, but clock rescue I guess is what we're doing. Now because they tried to abrade my clock, they can't play Krenko. See? They messed up. They could have just played their commander and let me rescue my commander. Now they're just losing out on aggro. They haven't messed up at all, I'm being silly. Arcane Signet. My god. I didn't put an arrow counter on any of my clocks. My god. I didn't put an arrow counter on any of my clocks. But I did play a new clock. It's flawless. And then I'll play the Vow of Rebirth off the Arcane Signet, which then puts an hour counter on my clock. Did it. We're getting there. And I'll pass the turn. Now we begin the ticking of the clock again. Well, Goblin player, what are you doing? I'm playing clocks. And you're playing goblins, and goblins are clearly superior. So I'm curious what you're going to play. A goblin. Fair enough. I wonder if they're also narrating what they're doing. I should also swap out the basics to make them look nicer. Ooh, Raid Bombardment, a Goblin classic. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less attacks, Raid Bombardment deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. The good thing my Rusco is stopping people from attacking. Swamp, a Magnifying Glass, which puts an hour counter on my clock. Always nice. And then I will play Dreadmobile, which will put an hour counter on my clock. We're getting there. The clock is ticking. Then I guess I hold up this instant for when they play Krenko. Probably. That's probably correct, right? That's probably correct. Somehow I'm winning. I'm not quite sure how. I don't really know what's going on. But in like 3 turns? In 3 more turns, my midnight clock will reach 12. And then I'll draw a new hand of 7, which hopefully will have things I can use in. There he is, Krenko. We did it. They cast Krenko Mob Boss. I, however, disapprove of the fact that they've cast a Krenko Mob Boss, and will therefore eat their Krenko Mob Boss. Because I'm very hungry. It's clock night time, and the nocturnal hunger has gotten to me. I will give them a food. There you go. Have a food. Goodbye, Krenko. And then none of your creatures gain haste. That's unfortunate. Oh, I thought that was sorry. There is no sorry, apparently. I can't say sorry. I'm not allowed. Tick up the clock. Play a Terramorphic Expanse. I'll grab that. And go and grab another island. Why not? And then I will put an hour counter on my clock. And put an hour counter on my clock. And put an hour counter on my clock. Then I pass the turn. Yeah, and then when it goes to their turn, I get the 12th hour counter and draw a new hand. Oh my god. The clock has resolved! The clock has resolved! Oh. I did it. I drew the midnight clock. And a way to bounce my commander. So good. God, these cards are just so useful. Now, Specialize is one of those weird ones, because it's an alchemy thing. I spend 2 and I choose a colour, and then I discard a card of that colour or an associated basic land. So like if I picked blue, I would discard an island or Glimmerburst or something, and it gets additional abilities. But I don't remember what the specialities are, so I'm probably just going to use the base card and not really care. Like maybe I'll look at it in a bit if I have nothing else to do, but I did just draw a new hand of 7 cards, so I've probably got stuff to do. Let's go with Evolving Wilds. I will eat that and grab a swamp. Ooh, swamp. And we will play the actual midnight clock. It works flawlessly. Return time. Oh, this one's nice. Look at this one. To return my commander to my hand. Put it in my hand. And because I pick at it, I get another version of my commander. But I'm 1 mana short of playing it. So I guess my turn ends there, probably. Looks like it. 1, 2, 3. Yep, looks like it. But now we have 2 Ruskos, both of which cost 4. I will have more clocks. They are both legendary, however, which means I'm not going to be playing both. But I will play one, which will probably be this one, over and over and over again. Sorry, I'm kind of ignoring what they're doing. They're actually playing like a lot of good cards. And I'm going to be taking a bunch of damage. But I'm just preoccupied with playing clocks. I'm just doing my own thing. That's even instant speed. I could have done that on my own turn. Could have done that like now. No, it is Rusko time. He enters, and I make another midnight clock. I play my command tower. Then I play Nocturnal Hunger again? Apparently I drew a Nocturnal Hunger again. I mean, that's pretty good. I should probably just Nocturnal Hunger again. I'll give them another food, why not? More clocks required. And then I'll play a Laura. And then I'll pass the turn. What if I just shuffled my commander into my deck? Because I've got this one now. I have fake Roscoe now. I could also shuffle fake Roscoe into my deck and keep my regular commander. Depending on where they are when the clocks resolve. Yeah, it shuffles your hand and graveyard into your library. We've got some silly stuff going on. Like, I thought I was going to get stomped by these goblins, but I got one kill spell, and apparently they just didn't have enough mana to do anything. So now my Ruscos are just keeping me alive based purely on clock purposes. I also like this. They put Command Tower in the dual colours. I guess they would put it in the colours that your commander is. 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That's unfortunate. What if I ate them instead? Yum. Then your spell doesn't resolve. You don't get any extras off it. Not that you got any extras off it anyway, but I get a counter, which I like. That right there is a goblin. And what a goblin it is. Are they going to attack? They are going to attack with that goblin. Worth it. Do I trade? I can cast the 2 spells I have next turn. So I probably do just trade. Like, I think I'm okay with this. I put more oil on my vat. I have a Rusco in my bin. I can then play my escape tunnel. And my other Rusco from my hand to make another clock. This is... I don't know why this is working. I don't get how this is working. I will make you sacrifice a non-token creature. Cool. You picked the one I expected. I'm actually going to... Oh, he's not got power 2 or less. I don't know why this is in here. He's a 3/3. I mean, I guess that's why the escape tunnel's in here. I guess I will then use this little rabbit to crew my car. And attack with my car. Choo choo. Car time. It's got menace. You can double block it, but you lose your Ogre Battle Driver. Or you sacrifice your 2 goblins to it. Therein lies your choice. We just take 4. That works too. Taking 4 is totally an option you can do. And I respect you for it. And that's my turn. 3 more hour counters. I don't know how this is working. It shouldn't be working. But I'm beating a goblin deck with the clockmaker. I'm just making clocks. I'm having a great time. This is stupid. Ooh, goblin bushwhacker. When this creature enters, if it was kicked, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste. That's very cool. It didn't kick it though, because it's going to get +2/+0 and haste anyway. It's just not going to give other creatures +1/+0. And I've got an unsummon, so we're fine. I can chump it with Rusco and then unsummon my Rusco. And then replay my Rusco to get another clock. Ooh, attacking creatures get +1/+0. Cool, cool, I approve. A lot of power going on here. I've also got loads of mana. My Rusco hasn't actually died yet. So I've only cast him from the command zone once. Ah, good. They're using some of the food I gave them when I nocturnal hungered their cards. Hello, it's me, Rusco. Oh, they're passing their turn. Then I guess I'll bounce Rusco to my hand. Back to the hand you go. Then Rusco takes back up. All my clocks all tick up. Putting 1 to 11. Ooh, I try Swamp. Play the Swamp. Play Rusco. Get another clock. Because now I've got 4 clocks. I'll put an hour counter on this clock, putting it to 12. Which draws me a new hand of 7 cards. Why does this work? Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Are we just going now? Are we just going? Oh no! I feel so mean. The deck's working. It's got like actual clocks that are just firing. Hey look, I drew Rusco again. I drew fake Rusco again. He's here. He made it back. And the Semblance Anvil. But on their turn, my clock's going to click up and I'm going to draw 7 more cards again. So these are all going away. How many cards have I drawn? I've drawn 16 cards. Oh no! What are you doing, Rusco? Something's very wrong. Something's very wrong with this deck. The clockmaker's too big. He's too powerful. It worked! The goblin clock... Versing the goblin deck. The clock deck worked. Then I end my turn. It goes to their turn. This one ticks up to 12 and I draw a new hand. Goodbye. Hello, new hand. Goodbye, clock. I've got 4 clocks in my graveyard. One of them was the real one. My exile zone is just 4 clocks. Oh. I don't understand why this has worked. Like, this shouldn't be a good deck, by any means. Like, the Goblin deck should just be stomping it. They must have drawn really badly. Like, I've only done 2 kill spells, one of which, admittedly, was very well timed on killing Krenko when they tried to give it haste. But then they just haven't drawn a 6th land to replay Krenko, so their deck's just kind of sat there. They haven't drawn many other goblins. They've drawn like 2 other goblins. A couple of buff spells, like the Ogre Battle Driver and the Goblin Oriflamme. But it shouldn't be this unbalanced. But I've just made my commander a 9 to 16 +1/+1 counters because I triggered 2 clocks in one turn. 2 clocks in one turn before combat. Yeah. I can use this to eat the clue. Which then, because I eat the clue, puts an oil counter here, and then I can use it to eat the glimmer, or I can use it to eat the magnifying glass or the arcane signet at this point, because I've got so many lands. I don't think I need them. I've got things like the Etch Familiar that I can just play and then eat. In fact, that might just be the play. I just play Etch Familiar and then eat it with the Dreadmobile. Ah, that now doesn't kill them. Good. I do get to... Oh, God, I drew a Vesuvian Mist. What if I made another Rusco in my hand? Then what would we do? Would we then have more Rusco? And like, I've still got 75 cards in my deck because I just keep going around in circles. I don't understand why this is working. It shouldn't. Like, they should have resolved Krenko and then just stomped me with like 100 goblins. But Roscoe's big and spooky, I guess. He's a big, scary villain. Good. They haven't lost their fear. Well, they have lost their fear. They're now going to attack with a goblin. I take midnight clock again. Yeah, there we go. As I play a land, I play the firebomb, I play the skull bomb, I play the opt, and then I pursue them, and that kills them. Oh, it worked though. We played a clock deck, and we won with a clock deck. Best out of 3 random opponents. Best out of 3. We're going to play... This will be the last thing we do, because I think it's getting late, and we've already streamed for almost 9 hours. But it took 9 hours for us to make the perfect deck. Which is clocks. Turns out the perfect eternal brawl deck in Arena is clocks. It's not a tool. I lost 1, won 1. Once you achieve a rank badge, you can change the art used to represent your deck. Oh, I forgot to change my basics. Can I quit out of this queue? Okay, I can. Thank God. I think. Hello? Yeah, I can. Cool. Decks. Rusco. Edit my... Okay, we go down here. How do we do this? Swamp. Oh. Lands. Here we go. Do we have some nice clock-esque... I don't know how we would find any nice clock-esque lands. But if we can find some nice clock-esque lands, then we'll go with them. I mean, that's a strong contender. With the rifts coming from space. Or we've got the crashed carriage. Or we've got... what are the House of Horrors ones? We've got Escher-esque staircases with spiderwebs everywhere. We've got creepy corridor descending into ghost water, apparently. We've got a lovely little Bloomburrow sunset with the runaway together boat. We found where they ran away to. There we go. And then we look at the islands. We got any clock-themed islands? Well, we got a lovely living room. Does that have a clock in it? Not that I can see. Some nice stained glass windows, but again, I don't think there's any clocks there. Ooh, very opulent hall. We might be going with that one. We might be going with this one. That's the downside. There aren't really thematic lands when you have a clock-based deck. And for anyone who's thinking this is a sundial, it is not, unfortunately. We could pretend it's a sundial, but in my heart I'd know it isn't. Not that that matters. Stone with some rain on it. Maybe we go with... oh, not that one. Big opulent hall. and we have a look at the swamps again and see if there's a more like opulent swamp. Not really. All my swamps are a bit weird. Yeah, all my swamps are a bit weird. But yeah, the deck worked. We wanted to see if the deck would work, and the deck worked. There was one thing I did want to do. What was it? I thought of something while I was playing, and I've immediately forgotten what it was. Right, I think I wanted to swap out Glimmerburst for something cheaper, because while I did play Glimmerburst in that game, it didn't really do anything. So I want to swap it out for just like some kind of cheap artifact. That might do something. But I think I bought most of these artifacts specifically for this deck. So there's not many cheap artifacts that aren't already in the deck. Yeah, there's not many artifacts that aren't already in the deck. Maybe I just put the Cryptex in and see if it does anything. It might ramp us. We'll find out. There we go. A little change. Make something that's 2-drop cheaper. We have a quick look at this deck and have a look at what the basics are here. Are there any cool basics? Oh, I do love that one. Welcome back, Blaze Furyuku. I'm glad you could make it. I'm going to play probably one more game before finishing for the night. I'm just going to take that down. This is going to be a bit of a swap over, unfortunately, because this deck has a lot of lands in it and a lot of just random basic planes. Even though I don't think it needs that many. This deck very much stomped when I played it earlier. And that's why I made Hickory Dickory. I made a Hickory Dickory deck. And if you're confused about what Hickory Dickory deck is, I will show you. Hopefully it will work as well as it did last game. So far with this deck we played mono black aggro, in which we lost horribly, and then mono red goblins, which I think was a very unoptimized deck, because they didn't really do a lot after we interrupted them a little bit. And we really got to go off on that. I'm doing very well. How are you? Oh gosh. Tali Primal Conqueror. This is probably not going to be a very good game for me. I don't think I can keep that. I can't play Rusko with that hand. I can play Rusko with that hand. I have the Ominous Parcel. Okay, that's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. And I'm going first. But it's against a Tali Primal Conqueror, which is the red-green one that has, on the reverse, it flips over, and on the reverse side it has Trample and Infect, and is like 11 power, so that just kills me? Yeah, it's a 7-drop. Right, it doesn't have Infect. It has Trample and Indestructible, and when it deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters. So basically Infect. Just not... It has Toxic X, where X is the amount of damage it deals. Basically what it does. But it costs a lot of mana to play and it costs a lot of mana to flip. But when you play it, you steal the top card of everyone's deck and play them for free. Or I could not play the Atali deck, which I am okay with. I don't like Atali, so I'm fine with not playing against their deck. It might be because I forgot to say hello, but I guess I'll take that win. Get a lovely rabbit warrior and 25 experience. And then 250 experience. We did it. I said best out of 3 and we just won that game. The Hickory Dickory Dock deck is a winner. It's gone 2 out of 3. Brawl, easy format. Yeah, there are dinosaurs in Magic. There is entire, 2 different planes of Magic the Gathering kind of dedicated to dinosaurs. There's Ikoria, called Ikoria Lair of Behemoths. And they did a Godzilla crossover with that set. So there is actually a Godzilla card and a couple of different, a Ghidorah card. I don't know if they did a Rodan card. A bunch of those cards. But the set itself had a bunch of dinosaur meet other creature, and they were big mutant dinosaur cats and dragons and beasts and that sort of thing. And it had the mutate mechanic, and it had, what were the other mechanics from that set? I don't remember off the top of my head. I just remember the mutate mechanic. Oh, it had keyword counters. They've become so commonplace in sets now that I'm just they weren't brought up. They've always been around. But then the other set is called Ixalan. And that was split around 4 main creature types, one of which was dinosaurs, one was vampire conquistadors, one was pirates, and one was merfolk. So if you want to build a dinosaur deck, there are plenty of dinosaurs in the game for you to build the deck around. And if you get them in paper, there are, Tom Bombadil. It's going to be a saga deck. I like this. This is a hand I can keep. And make sure I say hello. But yeah, so if you like franchised dinosaurs, there is the Godzilla cards, and there are also some Jurassic Park cards. So plenty of options for dinosaurs if you like specific dinosaur franchises. And then there are also just the in-game dinosaurs. Ooh, they're not doing what I thought. So Tom Bombadil is a Lord of the Rings card that cares about sagas. But then they've just played Galadriel, who is another Lord of the Rings legendary, who does not care about sagas. So I'm now curious if they're just playing 5-colour Lord of the Rings legendaries. Which I'm not complaining about, that would be fantastic. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you shoot, they're playing 5-colour Lord of the Rings legendaries. We've got Gandalf the White. So Galadriel of Lothlorien is an elf noble for 3 mana. They are 3 power, 3 toughness. I should probably play my turn, otherwise I will get left behind. Here comes the clockmaker. It's Roscoe! He makes a clock. He creates a thing. Good times. Nice job, Roscoe. I give you a pickaxe. You've done it. So Galadriel of Lothlorien is whenever the ring tempts you, which is the Lord of the Rings specific mechanic. I kind of went over it earlier, but it's basically there's stages to the ring that makes your ring bearer better. And every time the ring tempts you, you can change ring bearer. And your new ring bearer gets all the abilities. Shadowfax. I love it. I'm now going to eat the ominous parcel. Go and grab an island to my hand. I probably should have waited for them to go to combat, because otherwise they can just hit me in the face for loads. Oops. Galadriel is also, whenever you scry, you reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you put it onto the battlefield. Pretty great. Gandalf the White Rider is a avatar wizard with vigilance. And, God, I'm taking a lot. Avatar wizard with vigilance, and whenever you cast a spell, creatures you control get +1/+0, and you scry 1. When Gandalf dies, you may put it into its owner's library 5th from the top. Because he comes back on the dawning of the 5th day. look to the east. And I very much need him to go away. But I think I might have to pick one of the other ones. I really want to pick Gandalf, but unfortunately I might have to pick one of the others. Nah, screw it. He'll come back on the dawning of the 5th day. Good. We did it. And then they've got Shadowfax, Lord of Horses, who is a legendary creature horse. No, I'm not going to attack. I'm kind of ignoring what I'm doing on my turn to read all their cool Lord of the Rings legends. Horses, so it's a horse lord, it's a legendary creature horse, and gives all your horses haste. And when it attacks, you may put a creature card with less power from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attack it, which is very cool. Yeah. Ooh, Ring Sight. The ring tempts you. Search your library for a card that shares a colour with the legendary creature you control. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. They're actually playing 5-colour Lord of the Rings cards, and I approve. If I had an emote to give them a little heart symbol, I would do. Shadowfax is their ring bearer. It is legend. So the first step of the ring is this creature is legendary and it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And there are the other steps. Ooh, and the card they searched for was Old Man Willow, who's another Lord of the Rings legendary. It becomes big. Galadriel Scry's 3. The Old Man Willow is paramount on a secret number of lands you control. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or a token. And if you do, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2. Oh god, if they just scry 3 cards at the bottom, they're just going to draw Gandalf again. Did they really just... Oh no, they searched. They shuffled Gandalf away. He's gone. Gandalf's gone. He got shuffled away. Perfect. I'm going to eat my burning heart and get some more lands. Go with 2 more islands. And then... 1, 2... I don't have enough mana to bounce Roscoe. I can't do enough to deal damage with him, so I guess there's not a lot I can do. I guess that's my turn. I'm not going to attack. But I can shoot the sheriff, which Elf Noble and Horse are all not outlaws. Oh yeah, it's going to be very confusing. I'm just enjoying their Lord of the Rings deck while also playing a deck that's very silly because I'm playing around Midnight Clock with a guy who makes midnight clocks. Unfortunately, this whole thing is timed, which means I kind of have to speed through it while talking about my amazing fascination of Lord of the Rings. Up to 1 target creature can't block for as long as you control there and back again. The ring tempts you. My Roscoe is not allowed to block. How dare you? And then the ring tempts me, or the ring tempts them. So they unlock the second step, which means whenever their ring bearer attacks, they draw a card and discard a card. I'm just going to shoot Shadowfax now. Q. Take that, ring bearer. There's a lot of stuff going on, unfortunately. If you check out the VOD, I kind of talk through it a bit at a time as we go through the tutorials and everything. Unfortunately, you've jumped in right at the end of my stream, so it's a bit madness at the moment. There's just a lot of madness. On my turn, I'm going to rescue my Roscoe back to my hand. And I'm going to put him back in my hand. Because then on my turn I cast him again and get another Midnight Clock. Hey look, he's back. It's another clock. We did it. Extra clocks. I then play this land. I then put an hour counter on my clock. I then put an hour counter on my clock. Which then, because it's on 12-hour counters, draws me 7 cards. Because this card is kind of stupid. It also shuffles my graveyard back in, so luckily one of the cards I drew was Rescue again. So that's fun. I then got Surgical Spellbomb. And I guess I should probably sit there for a second. But I get plus eidetic memory. Because I drew 7 cards this time, I put 7 counters on Rusco. So he's back. He's big. He's kind of gross. Kind of gross. Like, look at this board state. I don't even know what turn it's turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 8. They've got 9 lands, but they did get 1 for free off Galadriel. So I think it's turn 8. And I've just got a massive clockmaker. And they're playing Lord of the Rings. Target creature you control and up to... Hang on. Target creature you control and up to one other target legendary creature you control each deal damage to their power equal to target creature you don't control. No? I would rather you didn't do that. So I'm going to put it back in my hand. Which, yes, you can hit me for 3. But I'd rather that than you kill Rusco. Oh, and then also grab this one. Ooh, there we go. Swamp. And then they get to use 3. Pick up my midnight clock. Play Rusco again. Make another clock. Play a swamp for turn. Play my buried treasure, which ticks up both my clocks. Play a cryptex for turn, which ticks up both my clocks. Play compulsion, which picks up both my clocks. One is on 7. That's still a little way away. I'm going to equip the pickaxe to Rusco. And I think I'm going to eat the skull bomb to draw a card. Can I do anything else? Is there anything else I've got? Not really. I can discard a card to draw a card, but that would involve tapping Rusco. Not yet. And then because I drew an extra card, I put a counter on Rusco thanks to Proft's eidetic memory. Yes, this sort of thing gets very messy on a table. Normally you'd play it a lot slower because Magic just kind of goes through all the motions, so there'd be a lot of like... Every time I'm casting one of these spells, I'd be like, I cast this spell. Triggers both Midnight Clock, or triggers Rusco. I then put a counter, an hour counter on both of my clocks, so I tick up both the dice on the clocks. And then I tick down my opponent's life, tick up my life, and that's Rusco's ability. I might get punched in the face a lot by Smaug. And the old man. Old man tree is scary. I don't think there's a lot I can do about old man tree. At least I can stop them attacking with Galadriel. And I hope I draw a kill spell for Old Man Tree. And Gimli, because Gimli is also a problem. And Smaug, because Smaug, oh god, they've just got so much stuff. They've got Faramir, they've got Gimli, they've got Smaug, they've got the Old Man Willow. Bad news for me. Do I let Rusco get slapped by an Old Man Willow? Well, they get to draw a card and discard a card. That's something. I've only got Malvalue 2. So I guess I can sacrifice that for a mana. Which means I can then tap this and collect evidence 3 for blue. And get rid of Buried Treasure and Surgical Spellbomb. I can then use some of that mana to eat and draw a card. And then I will chump block Old Man Willow with Rusco, who then do I want to put it back in my command zone? I think I do, because I have loads of mana and I can just take it down. I don't have many other spells in my hand. So now I counter on both of my clocks. Play Rusko again. Make another clock. Play the Surgical Bay tap. Cast Demir Locket to get me more mana and put more counts on all the clocks. Play a Supply Drop. Yeah? Yeah, play a Supply Drop. Puts count on all my clocks again. Gives +2/+2 to Rusko. And then I need to collect evidence 3, blue. 1, 2, 3. That's kind of sad to get the rescue. And then I can do that to do this, which will then draw me a new set of 7 cards. I can play. Oh, I've got 2 mana to play with. Turn target non-token, non-land card. I can put Old Man Willow back in their hand. Wait, can I do that instant speed? I can do that instant speed. So I'll just make my creature big. And hope I can defend myself. I probably can't. Ring tempts you, then each player mills cards equal to your ring bearer's power. Oh gosh. There's no real way out of this other than stopping myself. Oh, actually, I don't care about being milled 10 cards. Because when my clock goes off, I shuffle all those cards back into my deck. So this is fine. This is fine. They just get to see more of my deck. And it's each player, so they also mill 10 cards. They've got mana fixing, and more Lord of the Rings cards. Nice. This timer is going to make me lose the game if I get rid of it. So I've got to be very careful about spending too long just randomly looking at stuff. Elrond, Lord of Rivendell. I'm really impressed about what their deck is doing. They've just thrown together a bunch of Lord of the Rings legends, but a lot of them just care about legendary things, so the deck's strong. It's doing a lot of stuff. Resolve. Resolve all. Cool. Have you finished being tempted by the ring? Has the ring finished tempting you? Can I put the Old Man Willow back in your hand now? Because I'd really like to. Good. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, I'm still dead. Good game. They didn't attack. They didn't attack. I get to live another turn. Okay, Roaming Throne. I'm just going to pick Artificer because I'm going to scroll down and try and find human. Fishing Pole. And that 12-hour counter, so I draw a new hand. Fit it. Vat of Rebirth. This one's going to tick up now. Magnifying Glass. It reached 12. New hand. Not Time of Hunger. I can kill that bloody dragon. Go away. Guys, they take the treasures. That's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it will have to do. No, that's going to attack one of my creatures, which I don't really want to do because I kind of need them to defend myself. But I can make my throne big. So these two creatures are going to do great at defending me. Because look at how big they both are. And I'm back up to 24 life as well. I have run out of clocks currently though. So I need to use Allura to try and get some... like, make my command... Oh, actually, I could have... Well, they blew up one of my creatures. That's not great. I'm currently out of clocks. I have run dry on clocks. Destroy each non-legendary creature. That's what blew up my roaming throne. Their saga ticked up to level 2. What's my favourite magic deck? Oh gosh. That is a difficult question because I own like 50. All of which are commander decks. They are all very fun. Of the 2 I've built so far on this, really enjoying this clock deck. It's very silly. In real life, I have a deck where every single card in it just has a book in the artwork. That one's very fun. My book deck. That's very along the lines of this, where it just kind of durdles around and does silly things. But this deck somehow is winning games because there's actually a good card. Oh, what other decks do I really like? No, it's difficult to pick. Like, all of my decks I build in different themes, so different strategies and things. I've got one deck, which I think is my longest surviving deck, which is a mono-white deck based around a commander called Darien, King of Kjeldor, who does not exist in Arena, so I cannot build it on here, unfortunately. But basically what he does is when you... he's a 6-drop, 3/3, I think, with when you take damage... you make that many 1/1 soldiers. And the deck generally is like, I try to hit myself to make soldiers, and then whenever a creature enters I gain life, which then undoes being hit. So it's very much a, please hit me as much as you can, because I won't care. Unless you can hit me all in one go for my entire life total. I'll get it all back. Oh god. What are they doing? They're scrying a bunch. Making creatures enter. Here comes Tom Bombadil. So yeah, one Elrond is scrying for them. When that scries, they are then being tempted by the ring. Yeah, they're being tempted by the ring over and over again. And then because they're being tempted by the ring, they scry 3. And then because they're scrying 3 and scrying 1, this Elrond is putting a load of +1/+1 counters on target creatures. So they're putting loads of counters on their creatures. And doing lots of scrying. But look at all that Lord of the Ring legendary goodness. Oh, makes my clock-making heart happy. I'm now going to die to it, but makes me happy. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, I think I just want to kill Gimli. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. I'm not dead? I'm not dead. Yeah. I'm not dead. It's okay, we did it. I think. I think we did it. Let's just draw another card just to be sure. Sometimes it's shit. Whenever you attack, up to one target attacking creature can't be blocked. So I make this not able to be blocked, and then I turn sideways with it. Alright. Attack. This triggers. This creature can't be blocked. Game. Roscoe wins again. Roscoe wins again. Apparently Roscoe is just the best clockmaker. And clocks are a viable deck in Brawl.